The last time Kecoughtan and Hampton met was during the Eastern Regional Championship game. Hampton dominated the first half by piling up all of their scores during the second quarter. It started when Hampton's defender, Tarek Cazelles, intercepted a Kecoughtan pass, which paved the way for a Hampton field goal 3 minutes later. As the game progressed, so did the pressure. This turnover by Kecoughtan helped set up a beautiful pass play from Fred Brown to Reggie Pittman for another second quarter score. After the extra point, it was 10-0. Well, by this time, Vic Williams decided it was time for him to get a piece of the action, and he did. This powerhouse play helped carry Hampton into the locker room with a proud score of 17-0. Things looked pretty slow during the beginning of the second half. That is, until Cal Key showed everyone that Kecoughtan was still in the game. Minutes later, after advancing upfield, quarterback Tony Jordan snuck one in to give Kecoughtan their first score of the night. From that point on, Kecoughtan continued to fight and even got another score near the end of the fourth quarter in the form of a field goal. But, as the saying goes, you can't crush a crab. Hampton won that night by a score of 17-10 and advanced to the state quarterfinals. Tonight, these two teams meet again on the same field, each with the same goal. Who will win this time?
WHCS Channel 5 presents Group AAA Peninsula District Football. The Kecoughtan Warriors versus the Hampton Crabbers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium, and we invite you to stay tuned at the conclusion of our ball game for our halftime program with Karen Schaffner. And Bob, it is a pleasure to be back here at Darling Stadium once again to do high school football on the peninsula.
I have been antsy for about 4 or 5 weeks, ever since 1st of August when they started practicing. This is going to be a real good game, Tim. Kecoughtan is 1-1. They lost a heartbreaker to Menchville last week. Hampton opened 2 weeks ago, has had a week off, and Mike doesn't think that this should hurt him too much. Hampton team is returning just about everybody. They've got a strong team. They went all the way to the state finals last year. They've got to be the team to beat in the district. But you know, the reason that Hampton ends up in the playoffs every year says a lot for the Peninsula District as a whole. It is great football on the Peninsula District, which tests the teams night after night. And this is going to be a good game tonight.
The Kecoughtan Warriors, of course, as you saw in that pregame tape, gave Hampton all they wanted in the semifinal, or rather quarterfinals last year, the regional finals, I should say, in a 17-10 Hampton victory. But it was a very close ball game, and Kecoughtan, of course, remembers well that they were eliminated by these same Hampton Crabbers. The Warriors have had an up-and-down season so far. It's very young, so we certainly don't want to say that a trend has been set, but the Warriors opened with an impressive 28-13 victory over Booker T. Washington, and then came back and fell flat in a 10-6 defeat by the Menchville Monarchs. So the Warriors come in at 1-1, while Hampton steamrolled over Green Run 40-0.
And in that game with Kecoughtan and Menchville, Tim, there was like 6 turnovers by Kecoughtan. They had 15 first downs to 6 for Menchville, and yet they got beat. So this is a team that is very explosive offensively. They run the veer. They will pop at you, find a crease, and just wear you down. They've got a big team. They're not a small team.
You mentioned, Bob, of course, that Mike Smith has gone on record as saying he does not like the fact that his team has only played 1 game in 5 weeks. They opened the season 2 weeks ago with that impressive Green Run victory, but sat out last week. And, of course, he is very antsy and anxious to get these guys back on the field and play someone other than the scrimmage squad. And right now we're going to go back in time and see if we can pick up some comments that you had an opportunity to chat with Mike Smith, the head coach of the Hampton Crabbers.
Bob Hintz with Coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers. Coach, new season, always it gets excited. I get excited when football season comes around. Tell me a little bit about your team.
Well, it's really difficult to say at this time. You know, it's like 2 season openers. We played 2 weeks ago after 4 weeks of practice. Now we've been practicing 6 weeks, and this is the second game. So the first game actually seemed like it was closer to the last game we played here last year than this game. So it's difficult to say. You know, it's like having 2 season openers, and you just hope you don't make the mistakes you make in the season opener. But we're untested. We don't know. We have no idea whether we're good or bad. We think we've got a pretty good football team, but we've got some inexperienced people, and it's going to take time, I think, to tell the story.
Well, I know when you and I were talking earlier, you said that all your interior linemen are underclassmen.
Well, yes, all our offensive interior linemen on offense are all underclass. They're all back next year, all 5 of them, and of course, a couple of them started last year as 10th graders. But they're still young kids. But they did pretty good in the first game. But like I said earlier, it's difficult to say. Green Run, really, they were young and they weren't very strong.
Okay. What do you expect from this Kecoughtan team? I know they're a pretty good-sized team.
They have excellent size. I saw them play Minchfield down here the other night, and it looked like both of them had excellent size. I think, as always, they're a well-coached football team. Defensively, play good technique, go to the ball well, always get after you. Offensively, unless he changed, it's very similar to what they've done in the past. It's
right.
They run the veer, and of course just predicated on going down there, bang, bang, banging, and then trying to get you to commit in one area and go somewhere else. So it's kind of like, I guess, knocking a hole through a wall. You just keep doing it. You try to find the crack and make the big play. But of course, they've got a seasoned quarterback back in Tony Jordan, and that's certainly got to be a plus for them this year.
Well, that's got to help them with the cohesiveness if they've got some young players to have a good leader like Tony.
I don't know about that. I keep reading about those young players, but I keep looking on the rosters. They got more seniors playing than we have, so I really don't know how young they are.
Right. Well, I think young and experienced, Mike, more than in grade-wise.
Well, we've got some young on that also. I think we've been a little bit emphasized on experience. When they start talking about the number of people we have back here, we're talking about some guys that are playing both ways. And of course, some of those guys are playing both ways. Only played one way last year. So if you talk about youth, they're very young on one side of the ball, especially on defense. I think we're probably we're a little bit more experienced on offense than we were on defense.
Okay. Well, listen, I want to first of all congratulate you on a birthday. This is your birthday today. Congratulations on that, and good luck tonight.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Okay, Mike. Let's go back up to Tim.
And we invite you back at this time. We're going to have the playing of our national anthem. We invite you to enjoy that coming up right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
There you see the officials for tonight's game. Jack Windley is the referee, Jim Williams the umpire, Charlie Davidson the linesman, Mike Tucci is the line judge, and Doug Diggs is the back judge. If I may reflect for a minute, Bob, on some of the comments that Mike Smith had, of course he is going to try and downplay the fact that his team is going to be the prohibitive favorite, if not in the Peninsula District, even the Eastern region for that matter. But he does, as you said, return an awful lot of key players in the skilled positions.
He most certainly does, and a lot of that has to do with the coaching staff. He's got a lot of good ball players, Tim, the young ball players, but the coaching staff that the Crabbers have, who has been with Mike for a long time, I'm talking Danny Mitchell, Alvis Mann, and Walter Brower, they know what Coach Mike wants, and he doesn't have to have a new coach come in and then acclimate him to what they're trying to do, and it really makes a big difference.
The Hampton Crabbers, of course, fell ever so close to the championship last year in a stunning defeat here at the same Darling Stadium. And, of course, they would like nothing better than to go all the way this season. Kurt Newsom, on the other hand, with the Kecoughtan Warriors, he has a good-looking ball club. He's going to have to look for some consistency from his team. And I understand a little while ago you had a chance to talk with him. So let's go again back in time and have a word or two with Kurt Newsom, the head coach of the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Bob Hens with the Kecoughtan High coach, Kurt Newsom. Kurt, you've already got 2 games under your belt. Hampton's only played 1, been off a week. Tell me a little bit about your team.
Well, we feel like we've got a good football team. We're a little inexperienced, but we've got Tony Jordan at quarterback, and we've got enough good skill people to go with some good linemen. And basically, we've got good kids, and they're fun to coach. So we've just got to improve on our mistakes right now.
Okay. I know you turned the ball over and against the Minchville, moved the ball up and down the field against Minchville, had like 19 first downs. They had 6. You lose the contact. That's got to be a little demoralizing.
Well, they're a little harder to get over, you know, when that occurs.
Right.
But we've had a good week of practice. Our seniors have done a much better job with their leadership, and we're excited about playing tonight.
Okay, what do you expect from Hampton? I know he's got just about everybody back. They went to the finals in the state last year. But every time he plays Kecoughtan, it's a tough game.
Well, they're always very well coached, a sound football team, and he's got enough skill this year to really put you in a bind. He can spread the field out, and they do a lot of good things with their talent. And Fred Brown kind of gets everything going for him, and he's done an excellent job in the first game in the preseason.
Well, that's good. You and I had talked earlier about this Thursday practice. When I looked at it, our Thursday game, you had 3 in a row. I said, boy, that's got to be kind of neat. And then you and I talked. It's not so neat because you're really losing a day preparing for the next contest.
Well, what happens is we'll practice on Friday, and we won't have game films of the opposing team yet, and we don't have our game plan in. Then we scout Friday night, and then we practice Saturday morning, so we're not really getting the true look at that team until Monday after a all-day Sunday coaches meeting. So it has been a little bit of a disadvantage, but you know, we think the kids have gotten used to it now a little bit.
Well, I know that you hope that you're not going to have any more Thursday games.
Yeah, we don't, and I hope next year we don't have one either.
Right. Well, now just to move to a more sober note, I know that you've got some new coaching staff. We lost a tremendous young man into Mike Horton in a tragic accident in July. How has that affected you?
Well, I like to describe Coach Horton as Mr. Kecoughtan. When I was there, he was one of my coaches, and he coached me at Phoebus, and he's always been a very avid Kecoughtan supporter, and he was so good to the kids. He was a motivating type of person. He cared about them. I mean, he wouldn't have been coaching football unless he had sincere care for them. It was just a tragedy, and our kids, you know, it's hurt for a long time. And we've got 2 new coaches in there, but I don't think you ever replace someone like Coach Horton. He's a special person in all of our heart, and he'll always hold that place with us.
Well, all our sympathies went out to his family and all, and we really miss him. I've knew Mike since he was in junior high school. I was coaching at Buckrow, and he was playing at Sims, and I coached against him, so I knew him for quite a while, and it's a tragic loss, and we will surely miss him.
Thank you, and we really we wish his wife and family well, and like I say, our kids, it's been real rough on them. They've stood tall, but everybody was Coach Horton's friend.
Right. Well, listen, good luck for you tonight and the rest of the season, and we hope to talk to you after the ball game.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
nice talking to you.
Let's go back up to Tim.
And there you see the Hampton huddle. We should say, of course, that the Hampton Crabbers will be in the red and white, as if that needed to be said. You see the coaching staff for the Hampton Crabbers. The Crabbers are the visitors tonight. This is a home game for the Kecoughtan Warriors, if I understand that correctly.
That's correct. The home team in football wears a colored jersey. In basketball, the home team wears a white jersey. And it always confuses me. So, but I got it right tonight because I looked at the teams.
We do want to remind you that the halftime program will be taped, and it is airing following the game here on Channel 5. And onto the field come the homestanding Kecoughtan Warriors. So we do invite you to join Karen Schaffner. She will be the host from the field, and we think you'll enjoy that as well. Of course, there's an awful lot of effort put into the halftime programs by the different schools, and we want to make more of an effort to recognize that for those fine folks.
And I want to talk about Karen in just a second, Tim. She is a student at Kecoughtan High, and it's not because Kecoughtan is playing tonight that she's doing a halftime. If you remember, last year Karen did the halftime for us in all our ball games, regardless who was playing. So we've got a young lady who's got some experience in doing a halftime, so we invite the public to stay tuned at the end of this broadcast to watch the halftime.
There you see the captains for both teams joining at the center field. We're going to step away now and listen in on the referee.
How you doing, gentlemen? Captain. These are the captains from Kecoughtan. Fellows, shake hands.
Number 12, Brad Brown. For the Kecoughtan Warriors, number 55, Malik Bryce.
I want to introduce my fellow officials tonight. Mr. Diggs will be the back judge. Mr. Tucci will be the line judge. Mr. Davidson will be the head linesman, and Mr. Williams will be the umpire. Right, Hampton, you're the visiting team tonight. You will call the toss. Which one of you will call it? You'll call it loud so the gentleman can hear it right here. If I drop it, you'll flip it again, okay? Call the toss. Calls the heads, it's a tails. It's a tails Kecoughtan. You won the toss. You have the right to receive, kick, or defend the goal, or defer to the second half. You want the ball now, okay? They're taking the, see which goal you want to defend. You want to kick that way? All right, in the second half, you will have a choice. We'll ask you the second half. Put your back down there, green. Red, you're up here. White. Here you go, gentlemen. Green will receive. White will kick this way. Have a good game, gentlemen.
The Kecoughtan Warriors have won the toss and have
All right, you've heard the pregame ceremony. The toss of the coin was won by the Kecoughtan Warriors, and they will receive to open the ball game. And we do want to take this opportunity to thank Jack Windley and his crew for their cooperation in bringing you their portion of this game.
Well, and Tim, I also like to take this opportunity to thank Jim Fay, who is the commissioner of the Peninsula Football Association. I did a program with him this summer, and he told me how they come up with the crews and how the games are picked. It's all done on a blind draw, and he was very eminent in allowing us to get our microphone down to the referee, and also we appreciate everything that Commissioner Jim Fay and all the crews of the Peninsula District Football Association are doing.
Back deep to receive for the Kecoughtan Warriors will be number 2, Chip Laws, and number 5, Damon Roberts on either side of number 25, Terry Thomas.
back deep for the Warriors, number 25, Terry Thomas.
Welch will kick off for the Hampton Crabbers.
And number 2, Chip Laws.
And we're just about to set to get the Channel 5 portion of Peninsula District Football underway momentarily.
I tell you, we've been getting calls. They say, where's our games? Where's our games? Well, here we go. And we've been ready.
Temperature at game time right about 68 degrees. A light breeze moving from our left to our right. A good night for football, and we are underway. It's fielded at the 10-yard line. Getting to the outside. Terry Thomas gives Kecoughtan excellent field position.
He went out of bounds at the 40, Tim. That was a nice run back.
Number 25, Terry Thomas, carrying the kickoff back to the Warriors.
There you see the Kecoughtan offense. The center is Clifton Mills. The guards are Jason Robinson and Malik Bryce. The tackles are Michael Bryce and Billy Bowden. Tight end Aaron Hendrickson. The split end is Macy Brooks. The flankers Chip Laws. Halfback Devin Roberts. Halfback Terry Thomas. And quarterback Tony Jordan.
From the 40-yard line, inside handoff goes to Terry Thomas. And Thomas picks up about 4 yards out to the 44.
Ball carrier for the Warriors, number 25, Terry Thomas. He is stopped on the play.
There you see the Hampton defense. They actually mark it at the 45. Okay.
Hampton defense, Tim Gary and Lloyd Tucker at guards, Carlin Brown and Mario Gatling at tackles, Reggie Pittman, Myron Newsom at ends. The linebackers are Sean King and Eric Capehart. Cornerbacks Walter Ford, John Stein, and the safety is Sean Hamlin.
Second down and 5. Jordan back to pass, throws in the flat, completes the pass for about a 2-yard gain. Over on the play for the Hampton Crabbers was Myram Newsom, number 55, and the pass was to Chip Laws, number 2. So the Kecoughtan Warriors, who did not have a great deal of passing, here's your replay. You'll see Jordan set up in the pocket, quick flip pass, and Newsom was right there after the 2-yard gain.
Well, Newsom was out of position, but really got over there real quick from his defensive end position to make that stop, and just a very short gain for the Warriors.
Inside handoff for Thomas will come up short of the first down.
Well, it depends on the mark, Tim. They did not have to get to the 50, but if the mark is where the linesman is marking, we're going to be just about a half a football length short.
I told you it's not going to be enough.
I know, I should know. Eagle Eye Cole doesn't miss many.
Here's your replay. You'll see a very tight formation. And that was the most generous spot, I might say. That's 2 generous spots.
And they're going for it on 4th down.
And Jordan gets the first down across midfield.
Well, that was not a bad gamble in that position, Tim.
Tony Jordan kept the ball and got the first down. You know, it wasn't in retrospect, but if they didn't get that first down, then the emotional lift could have been a problem too.
That's true. But Kecoughtan feels they got to do something to pump these young men up. They played a good game last week against Mitchell, but they turned the ball over. So if they could get on the board first, that would really give them a tremendous emotional lift.
First down for the Warriors. Inside handoff goes to number 33, Abdul Sharkey.
And Tim, what Kecoughtan is doing, they run from the veer, which they're just trying to find a crease in there and pop one of their backs through to pick up some yardage. Occasionally, Tony Jordan is going to come down as you watch the replay and fake that dive and pitch to his man sweeping to the outside or on a keeper play. We got a official's timeout from Jack Windley right now.
Pickup of 2 on that previous play. As you see, second down and 8. They'll restart the clock now. 9:20 remaining in the first quarter. No score from Darling Stadium. The Kecoughtan Warriors with the football. Hampton on defense. Jordan, flag is down. Hands off in the backfield to Thomas, and Thomas is stacked up for little or no gain.
When you have the flag in the backfield like that, it's usually illegal motion, and that's exactly what's calling. And if you're Hampton, you may just decline the penalty, Tim, because they picked up no yardage. And you can watch the movement in the backfield prior, right there, the fullback moved just prior to the snap.
Backfield in motion, on the green, decline, 3rd down.
Yeah, and that's a good move. You decline it, you give them 3rd down from the same position they were running 2nd down from just a minute ago.
So it's 3rd down and 8 for the Warriors.
And you notice that Hampton is in their typical wide tackle 6, and he makes some variations in it according to what they're playing. But Tony is going back to pass.
Jordan has time, got a man wide open at the 25-yard line. He has the first down for the Warriors down to the 23. On the receiving end of the pass was Corey Bonds, number 21, a senior, 6'2". He is a two-way player for the Kecoughtan Warriors, but he made a fine effort that time, and Jordan had a man wide open.
He did that. You can see on replay, Tim, when we can't see what's happening, but the defender that was on that side, number 1, John Stein, was keep taking the deep man. Nobody was underneath to pick up the young man. And here we can see the play, and that's the option off of the veer where Tony Jordan kept the ball.
That was Corey Bond's first catch of the season. And a pickup of almost 8, about 7 yards on the play by Tony Jordan. So the Warriors moving the football. They have had it since the opening kickoff. They've had it right now a little less than 4 minutes, and now the Warriors are going to call a timeout. I remind you that there are 4 12-minute quarters in high school ball. You may be used to the 15-minute quarters, of course, of college and pros, but they do play 4 12-minute quarters in high school football.
Well, we got a minute. We got a break in action here. let me talk a little bit about the people who are helping us with some recognizing the player of the game. The T-shirts for the players of the game and the staff, and the shirts worn by the staff and the crew for Channel 5 were donated by Sports Place. Sports Place has a new location, Tim. It's located at Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road.
I should interrupt you, Bob, to tell the folks at home that they're watching a replay of a previous catch. I didn't want them to think that we were talking over a real play.
Okay. You want to see Dave Chubb at Sports Place for all your screen printing and sporting good needs. The player of the game plaques are donated by DC Engraving. The plaques are metal photo, which is one of the many quality styles that you will find at DC Engraving. DC Engraving is also at a new location in Tab Square on Route 17. Call Dave at 596-8850 for all your engraving and color copying needs. And we sure appreciate those two young men.
Very close to a first down. Tony Jordan kept the ball on the keeper. And depending where they spot that ball, it would appear to be close enough for them to bring out the chains. So you're going to put me to my true task here?
Now, Tim.
I'm going to
do it before the chains get out there.
I'm going to say it's about an inch short.
Let me get my binoculars.
All right, get your bios out. Let's see what happens here.
Oh, no, Tim. You missed
way off.
That's a good 8 inches.
Short nonetheless, and it'll bring up third down for the Warriors, less than a yard to go.
Now, this would be a good time to fake a dive and do a quick pass, because this is really 4-down territory for the Warriors. Last time they were in this position, Tony Jordan took it on a quarterback keeper.
Wide receivers to the right and the left, split backfield. This time Jordan hands off, and Corey Bonds gets more than enough for the first down.
Number 21, Corey Bonds, the ball carrier for the Warriors.
Corey Bonds all the way down to the 8, make that the 8-yard line. I had it right the first time. It'll be first and goal at the 8. Here's your replay. You see Jordan lining them up.
First and goal at the Crabber 7-yard line.
And what a nice opening.
What a hole. My gracious, you could have put a truck through that hole.
Number 71, Richard Verneal, who is just a 10th grader. He's 6 foot 190. Did a great job of opening up that middle.
Inside handoff goes to Thomas, and he is wrestled back after getting to about the 7 or 6-yard line. Check that. That was Roberts carrying the ball, not 25, but in fact, number 5, Damon Roberts. He's just a sophomore. And the Warriors now getting down into the area where Hampton is the toughest on defense, as most teams are, inside that 10-yard line.
Tim, my mistake, that was Dwight Vick, number 78, that made that great block just a minute ago. I want to make sure we recognize the right people.
Truly a fine effort by the offensive line of the Warriors so far tonight. Jordan feels the pressure, and he's sacked at the 15. In on the stop for the Crabbers, number 70, along with number 32. The 70 is Carlin Brown, a name Hampton followers would be most familiar with, and Eric Capehart, another name. And again, this is a veteran Hampton team on both offense and defense. Here's your replay, and you just see perhaps a missed blocking assignment on the part of one of the Warriors.
Yeah, it definitely was, because the defense got back before Tony Jordan could even turn around to start to look for an open receiver. But if you're Kecoughtan, you got to hold those experienced linemen out of the Crabbers.
Third and goal at the 13. Jordan wants to pass, but won't be able to get it away, as he is once again sacked by the Crabbers. In on the sack this time, number 74 for the Hampton Crabbers, Lloyd Tucker.
Well, we're going to have a try for a field goal attempt here, Tim.
3-yard loss on the play.
Number 8 for the Warriors in this, Jeremy Skerritt. He is only 5'5", 135, Tim, but he can kick the ball.
Here's your replay, and that sack was attributable to the defense as in the backfield as much as it was the oncoming rush. That kick is no good. It is wide to the left.
And
so the Hampton Crabbers have held after the Warriors had a first and goal at the 8.
I don't want to belabor the point, but Jeremy Skerritt made good contact with the ball, but the center snapped the ball so low that there was not a good catch from the holder on that part. That is such a timing thing for the center to snap the ball to the holder and the kicker. That's really all in timing.
So the Hampton Crabbers take over at their 20-yard line after they had, once again, as so many times we've said, they bend but they don't break. Handoff to the right side is to Sean Hamlet, number 9, from Fred Brown, the quarterback. And now we're going to get a chance to look at the lineups. The Crabbers on offense.
You got Tim Gary at center, Myron Newsom at guard, along with Tyrone Tynes. The tackles, Lloyd Tucker, Dwight Vick. The ends, Wayne Spencer, Mario Gatling. Flanker, John Stein. Fullback, Shelton Snow. The tailback is Shelley Ellenson, but Sean Hamlet started in place of Shelley. And, of course, the quarterback is Fred Brown, number 12.
Fred Brown, a senior at the helm for the Hampton Crabbers. 4:30 remaining in the first quarter. No score from Darling Stadium. Brown back to pass. Steps up, feels the pressure, and then he is going to be sacked at the 22-yard line. Basically, no gain for the Crabbers. It'll bring a third down at about 8.
Number 12, Fred Brown on the keeper.
There you see part of the big crowd on hand. A beautiful night for the fans to be out. They marked the ball at the 22.
Play will bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Hampton Crabbers.
And here's your Warrior defense, Bob.
Okay, we have Michael Bryce and Terrell Porter at the tackles, Macy Brooks and Aaron Hendrickson at the ends. The outside linebackers, Corey Bonds and William Mix. The inside linebackers, Abdul Sharkey, Morocco Bound, Fox Laws, and Roberts in the defensive backfield.
Flag down. Brown is out to the 25, well shy of the first down. But the flag, of course, in the backfield would indicate perhaps against Hampton. It is. And I would seriously doubt to see Kecoughtan do anything but refuse the penalty.
Well, they're going to make Hampton punt it because they'll take the down and they'll make it 4th down and long. And, you know, Hampton's got a punt from that position on the field.
Illegal motion on offense, declined, 4th down.
There you heard Jack Windley tell us. So Tony Jordan will be back in deep punt formation to receive, I should add, for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
John Stein should be punting for the Crabbers, number 1.
John Stein back in punt formation.
He'll be standing at about his 11 or 12-yard line. So the Warriors able to hold a potent Hampton offense, 3 downs and out. The rush is on. He just gets it away. It's a high booming kick, and now takes a bit of a Hampton roll. Now reverses this field and goes back into Hampton territory. So the Warriors will have great field position just inside the 50.
Number 25, Terry Thomas, 5'10", 150, 12th grader for the Warriors, came mighty close to blocking that punt.
Here's the replay. You'll see just how close. Stein, the right-footed kicker, just got it away as Thomas narrowly missed blocking that punt. So the ball is marked just across midfield with 3:09 remaining in the first quarter. A scoreless game from Darling Stadium. This game taped on the 12th of September, 1991. And quickly into the backfield on the stop for the Hampton Crabbers. Number 82, among others. 82 would be Joseph
That's 87
Garrett.
and 32, Tim, I believe. Mario Gatling and
as well.
Capehart. Kecoughtan was running a trap play that time, and the guard from the opposite side pulled, but he got there too late.
So a loss of about, well, let's call it a yard. There you see Mike Smith, the head coach of the Hampton Crabbers, or at least saw him a moment ago. From their 49 now, Kecoughtan after a loss on the play. This is Thomas, left side carry down to about the 46-yard line of Hampton. Mike Smith enjoying a birthday today, we are told.
Yes, big 5-0 for Mike. Of course, he would like nothing better than have a win on his birthday.
Bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
A gain on the play of about 6 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 6. There you see the replay by Thomas. Ball just shy of the Hampton 45-yard line. 3rd down. Tony Jordan, hands off up the middle. Struggling for yards is Corey Bonds, number 21.
And Tim, he did a lot of that with a couple of 3 crabbers hanging on to him.
He is tackled on the play by number 87, Mario Gatling.
Well, now you're Kurt Newsom, Tim, you got 4th and 2. The ball is on the Warriors. The Crabbers 42. You go for it again. Maybe you try to pull them off.
Corey Bonds ran 5 times for 19 yards in the victory over Washington, but did not carry the ball in the loss to Menchville. So he's already carried the ball several times here in the game against Hampton. And Jordan trying to get the Hampton Crabbers to jump offside with a long count, but the Crabbers having nothing of it.
Well, this is one of the points that I brought up with Jim Fay in that interview with him. I said, a lot of times they try to draw him offside. He said if the quarterback's inflection in calling signals is his intent to draw him offside, it's a penalty against the offense. So that's why you see a long count trying to get the defense to jump off, and you don't see a real cadence and a jump like you hear in the pros do. Nice discipline by the Crabbers.
I'd like to remind you to keep on top of the latest news affecting Hampton Roads. Watch Channel 5 News with Beverly Penn every day at 1, 5, and 9 p.m. right here on Channel 5. So the Warriors in the 4th down and 2 situation have called their timeout. They are not going to kick the ball, or at least they do not line up in that formation, I should add. Crabbers are not in deep punt receiving formation, so they are expecting the Warriors to go for it with a 4th and 2. They need to get across the 40 and then some. Jordan keeps the ball on the quarterback keeper and appears to have the first down.
I can't believe that the Hampton linebackers were 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. I thought they'd be up a lot closer. They made it too easy for Jordan.
First and 10 for the Kecoughtan
So the Warriors, and it's been all Warriors here for the first 12 minutes as we're inside of the last minute of the quarter. Here's your replay. You'll see Jordan behind that big, hefty line of the Warriors just piling over Hampton Crabbers for the first down. First down at the 38. And it looks like one of the Warriors might have left early, but no flag. Ball is tipped at the line.
Big number 70, Carlin Brown. He's a tackle. He's 6'2", 222. We saw him as a good basketball player last year. Got up real high and batted that ball.
It appeared to me, and it may not show up on the instant replay, but it looked like the Warriors were offsides. Looked like the left end left a little early, but no flag. So certainly the officials, much closer to the play than we are, ruled no penalty on the call. Clock stopped with 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Inside handoff goes to number 25, Thomas.
Carrying the ball for the Warriors, number 25, Terry Thomas.
He is down to about the 33-yard line.
On the play for the Crabbers, number 61, Clarence Briggs.
He's only 5'10", 150.
Pick up 5 yards
Not a very big kid,
for the Warriors,
but he shows a lot of heart running that ball right up the middle.
Clock winding down to 11 seconds remaining. The Warriors may not get another playoff before the end of the first period. 5 seconds. They're not in any great hurry. In fact, Tony Jordan realizes he does not have to call a play and will not. So the first quarter will come to an end, and we are scoreless after
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the first quarter of
here
play.
at Darling Stadium.
After one
Tim
complete
Cole
quarter of
and
play,
Bob
the
Hitz.
Hampton Crabbers
I don't know what
and
the
the Kecoughtan
statistics
Warriors
are,
nothing.
but Hampton has yet to get a first down, only had the ball for 3 offensive plays and kicked on the 4th one. Right now, Kecoughtan is definitely dominating this game, and if they can continue that, Tim, you will just see that the momentum will start to build a lot of confidence on that side.
The Darling
It's going to
Stadium
make it tougher
officials
for the Crabbers.
and
They
the
come
Hampton
down
City
at their
Police
end,
request that
back
you
against
find
the
a
goal
seat
all
during the
quarter.
game. If you
I
are
want to
fans of
remind
the
you
quarter
that
watching around
Jerome
the stadium,
Young,
we request that you find a seat during the ball game.
Young
Thank
won't
you.
let you miss entertainment around Hampton Roads. Join him on the community calendar so you can mark your calendar with upcoming concerts, exhibits, lectures, and other activities for you and your family. Every day following the news right here on Channel 5. Well, a brief synopsis of the first quarter would be real simple. Kecoughtan had the ball almost the entire first quarter. Hampton obviously didn't. And that's not typical of the way Hampton plays football.
Well, Hampton usually and typically has a great defense, And right now, it seems that the Warriors have done a good job of preparing for this wide tackle 6 and have found some creases in there, and I'm sure that the Crabber coaching staff are going to make some adjustments, Tim.
Second quarter set to get underway. The Warriors with the ball, 3rd down and 5. Well, actually, our graphic is incorrect. It's 3rd down and 3 for the first down. And the Crabbers on defense do not allow a first down. Again, the ball comes loose, but I believe the whistle will have blown.
Well,
Thomas carried.
Excuse me, I see Capehart number 32, and I didn't see who the other tacklers were.
Newsom was the other man for Hampton in on the play. So it was 3rd and about 3, and they got nothing. It is, well, they give them about 1.5 yards, but they didn't get the first down. I guess I should correct myself and say it is 4th down and a little less than 2. There you see the contact in Newsom and Capehart there for the stop. The Warriors again on a crucial 4th down. Pick up the first down. Tony Jordan inside the 25-yard line.
3rd time going for 4th and made it.
Tony Jordan keeping the ball for the Warriors.
No flags on the field. They'll advance the chains as again Kecoughtan registers a first down.
For another Warrior first down. 1st and 10 for the Warriors.
Here's your replay. You'll see Jordan. Well, that was the previous play when they didn't get the first down.
Well, that was the 3rd down play, yes.
First down, nonetheless, at the Hampton 21-yard line, a scoreless first half. Jordan appeared to have a mix-up in the backfield. I don't know whether he, in fact, intended to carry the football, but he did end up with it and picked up about, well, let's see where they mark it. It looks like he picked up about 3 on the play.
Well, that was Carlin Brown, number 70 in the backfield, that had a hold of Tony's leg. What Tony did that time was fake the handoff and was going to keep it, but he got spun around by Carlin and had to go straight ahead and still ended up picking up, looks like, about 3 or 4 yards.
They've marked off 4. It's 2nd down and 6. Jordan rolling, passing, incomplete, intended on the near sideline to number 16, Aaron Hendrickson, but the pass was not even close.
Well, Tim, he actually threw that ball away. He was getting some pressure again from Carlin Brown, number 70, and the receiver was completely covered, so he just threw that ball away to avoid a sack.
Here's your replay. Rolling to his left, and he's a right-hander, which, of course, is extremely difficult, but as you said, any of his receivers were well covered. Clock stops with 10:11 left in the first half. Kecoughtan threatening inside the Hampton 20. 3rd down and about 7. And down inside the 15-yard line.
Well, every time I turn around, I see Carlin Brown in some action, and he again was on that tackle.
Carlin Brown in on the stop. The ball carrier, Thomas, comes up limping, and he'll come off in favor of Corey Bonds for the Warriors. And once again, the Warriors will be faced with a crucial 4th down.
And again, Tim, they're going to take the timeout. And understand, we got 9 minutes to go in the first half, 9:43. That is Kecoughtan's 3rd and final timeout.
So they are looking at a 4th down and about 4. The ball is at just inside the 15. They need to get to the 11 for the first down. Gives me another opportunity to tell you more about Channel 5.
Channel 5.
You know, there's no need to miss the talented athletes of Hampton's high schools. Bob Hintz, that's you, introduces these fine young people and their coaches to you every day, following the news and community calendar. Be sure to get to know the tennis players, track and field stars, wrestlers, and golf players on Sports Beat, hosted by my good buddy to the right, Bob Hintz, right here on Channel 5. Well, Bob, I have to tell you, I'm somewhat surprised by the effectiveness of Kecoughtan's offense against a very tough Hampton defense.
Well, and again, Tim, I'm not trying to make any excuses for anybody, but Kecoughtan has played 1 game in 6 weeks, and there may be a little flat Kecoughtan, on the other hand, you thought maybe a little flat because of the loss last week. The coaching staff did a great job of preparing them for this Hampton Crabber team, and they're really dominating right now.
You don't have to get your team up for Hampton very often. 4th down and 4. Jordan keeps, and he will not get the first down this time. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the first, and the Crabbers, for the second time, have been able to hold on a 4th down situation. Earlier, you may recall, the Crabbers allowed Kecoughtan a first down and goal, and Kecoughtan ultimately missed a field goal attempt. And that's the only threat we've had of a score here in the first half.
Well, Tim, the ball is on the 13-yard line, so you got Hampton with their back at their goal line. They cannot afford to make a mistake, and you kind of limit their offense a little bit. They can't be as wide open and further up the field. So, and they have yet to prove that they can get a first down.
You can say they can't, but I've seen Mike Smith in a worse situation than this throw the ball. So.
Yeah, that's true too.
Stein to the near side. Fred Brown is the quarterback out of the eye. Handoff, second man through, big hole across the 20 to about the 23-yard line goes number 44, Shelly Ellison. Ellison picks up good yardage, close to a first down. And in fact, it is a first down for the Crabbers.
We watch this on replay, Tim, and it's just a real quick hitter by the tailback coming up. Nice job of opening up the hole by the offensive line of the Crabbers.
Back to the live action. Ellison this time, no luck at all as he was stopped right in his tracks by, among others, number 33, Abdul Sarki. Ellison had 130 yards on 16 carries in that opening game against Green Run. But of course, in this game, this is only the second time in the first half that Hampton has had the football. Their first possession was 3 downs and out. And now they're looking at a second down and 10 from their 23-yard line. No gain on the last play. And now the officials stop the clock and are trying to get some of the Kecoughtan coaches and players to get back a little bit from the sidelines. 8:16 remaining, the clock moving here in the first half. No score between Hampton and Kecoughtan. The second game of the season for the Crabbers. He's got a man open, cannot connect with the intended receiver, Mario Gatling, a young man that we have seen not only on the football team, but on the basketball team and the baseball team, and probably does something else that we're not even aware of.
I don't know, but that's a tough throw for any right-handed quarterback who's running to the left because you've got to rotate your shoulders around, as you can watch on the replay as Fred is running, and you see he's turning his back, and the ball has a tendency to float a little bit and go a little high, and that's what happened to Mario. Just wasn't quite tall enough to get that ball.
So third down and 10 for the Crabbers from their 23. Stein to the near side. Gatling wide left. Brown fakes the draw play. The quarterback keeper looking for some running room and reverses his field, trying to pick up some blocks. He finally gets one, but he just barely gets back to the 25-yard line.
I thought he was going to reverse his field again and come back. What a nice scramble by Brown not to lose yardage, but it does bring up a fourth down in a punting situation by the Crabbers.
7:35 remaining in the first half. You'll see your replay here. Brown gets good pressure.
Well, that's a design quarterback draw, but the hole closed.
You saw filling that hole was Terrell Porter, number 81, and forcing the Crabbers to lose yardage or at least not get the first down. On the punt, Jordan fields it at his 48-yard line. So again, Kecoughtan will have very fine field position. Last time the Crabbers punted a ball, the Warriors started from the Hampton 49. This time they'll start from their own 48. So that kind of field position is something you'd like to have as often as possible.
You're right there, but now Kecoughtan has dominated, Tim, but you've yet to put any scores on the board. I don't care how much you move the ball up and down the field, you got to cross the line. You got to cross that goal line.
So the Warriors again with the football, 1st and 10 from their 48-yard line. Split wide to the right is number 2, Chip Laws. And coming to the near side now is number 7, Macy Brooks. Kecoughtan taking a long time. Jordan on the option, and he is grabbed and taken down, and a flag downfield. In on the stop for the Crabbers was number 70, again, Carlin Brown, but a flag way downfield. Now let's listen up momentarily. Jack Windley, after discussing this with the back judge, the Hampton Crabbers are applauding, so I would assume that it would be a penalty against them.
Yeah, I think so, and it'll probably be a big one, but Jack Windley holding against the... Yep. Jack Windley almost threw his flag for delay of game. I mean, he was reaching for his flag when they snapped the ball. It was that close.
All right, what you're looking at now is a first down and about 15 if you take the play, or, excuse me, second down and 15 if you take the play, or first down and 20 if you don't. So it would appear that the Crabbers will, in fact, take, and it appears to be marked off from the point where the ball was dead.
That illegal procedure, Green,
10
declined.
Okay, wait a minute.
That a holding, Green, accepted. It'll be first down.
All right, so it's a 15-yarder.
That's why you take it.
Sure. So the Warriors backed up all the way to their 33-yard line, 34-yard line, and it's first down and 25 now. Thomas on the delay gives to, Jordan gives to Thomas, and he crosses the 40-yard line. And another flag is down. So after a almost penalty-free first quarter, now we've had a couple of penalties in a row, and we've got a personal foul against Hampton, and that'll give Kecoughtan that great field position back all over again.
It most certainly will. We did have two penalties that first half, but neither one were accepted. They were both illegal motion by each one of the teams. But this really hurts you. You had a first and 25.
Personal foul against the defense. Second down.
Well, look at what they've gone from a first and 25 to a second and 3 or 4.
So the penalty, a crucial penalty here. Inside handoff, first down to the 40-yard line. Again, Terry Thomas carries for Kecoughtan and picks up a first down at the Hampton 41-yard line. See if I can find out from our good friend Gary Moore over here how many first downs the Warriors have here in the first half. We'll get that for you just in a minute. Jordan keeps on the fake, and he is surrounded and down after a yard or so.
Number 18, Tony Jordan, keeping the ball for the Warriors.
Again, the time of possession here in the first half so lopsided in favor of the Warriors, but no score.
Well, I have never seen any team dominate the ball in a half as much as the Warriors have tonight and not score any points.
Here you saw the replay, the Hampton Crabbers, led by Myron Newsom, number 55, stopping Tony Jordan after a game to the 39. Second down. This is Thomas. Nice move to get outside, but again, a fine defensive effort by the Crabbers, this time by number 61, Clarence Ricks. So Thomas picked up 2, and it looked like he'd get a lot more than that initially.
It sure did. Clarence Ricks did a great job of reacting and grabbing a hold of an ankle that was going by him and stopped the long gain that time.
Here's your replay, and you're going to see this. Jordan, well, from this level, you didn't see it quite as much, but Ricks got a hand on his foot and wouldn't let go and stopped what could have been a big gainer. Third down and 7 for the Warriors. Jordan sets up, throws the bomb downfield. This will be intercepted by the Hampton Crabbers, and it will be at the 1-yard line. So, you know, what the heck, if you're Kecoughtan, you got to be pretty happy that you gave up the ball. But now are they going to say, did his momentum carry him in the end zone?
To me, the momentum carried him in. There was no way he was going to stop but they're going to say that's where it is.
Well, it apparently went out of bounds at the 1-yard line, which would have been the problem.
That's okay.
For the Crabbers. They get the ball, but not where they particularly want to. Here you see your replay. Stein playing the deep defender. Boy.
Well, his emphasis took him into the end zone. If he stepped out of bounds, then that was a good call. We couldn't tell at the angle we had. I tell you, our crew do a great job. The pictures and replay, our camera people just doing an excellent job out there. It was a good shot of the Kecoughtan Warrior coaching staff on their sideline.
Well, the Crabbers in the shadow of their own goal line take over with 4:57 remaining in the scoreless first half. Flags are down. Fly pattern, Stein, the ball comes up too long, which the ball is thrown from the end zone to the 50, but a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
I would have not said that was the call that Mike Smith would have called, but that's why he's as good as he is. But he calls what you don't expect. You got a penalty against the Crabbers, half the distance you made, just decline this penalty.
The worst you do is back him up a half a yard or so and probably take the play. Listen to Jack Midley.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Decline. Second down.
So as you said, Bob, decline it. What the heck? You're going to want them to run out of downs, really. You don't have any yardage to pick up.
You want to give that punter as very little room as you can, especially with the pressure that the Warriors have been putting on John Stein when he has to punt. If you're Kecoughtan, that's what you're thinking.
Second down and 10. Brown will keep. Nice move to get outside as he did a good job of faking Corey Bonds, and then he is driven out of bounds after he picks up the first down just shy of the 15.
Number 12, Fred Brown, keeping the ball for the Crabbers.
So Fred Brown, who is no stranger to ball carrying, did a fine job. He carried 4 times for 23 yards in that opening game victory over Green Run.
That was a gutsy call back down there that Mike made, and you can watch his nice move.
Oh, he faked Bonds right out of his shorts. And then did a good job of getting around Thomas. He picked up about 2 or 3 more after that. Finally driven out of bounds after he picked up the first down. Fred Brown, the senior quarterback at Hampton, on the delay, gives the ball to Sean Hamlet. Hamlet with a big hole, and Hamlet's got good speed. He turns the corner. It's going to be a foot race. No flags are down, and Hamlet will score.
What a play. You start on your 1-foot line, Tim. Wow.
85 yards.
Of the Crabbers.
Number 9, Sean Hamlet with an 85-yard touchdown run.
85-yard touchdown run from Sean Hamlet. And this is exactly what you were talking about, Bob. The Warriors have dominated the time and the yardage, but Hampton's first on the scoreboard. .429 remaining. Sean Hamlet. That drive, 3 plays, 99 yards. 28 seconds is all it took. The Crabbers started from their 1 and went the length of the field in 3 plays. Stein's kick is up, and it is no good, wide to the left. Now check that. Not Stein, but in fact that is, well, I'll get it right here in a minute. Welch.
If we can watch that replay, Tim, and watch the move that Hamlet makes there. Cuts inside and then out, gets a great block, and just outruns the defense. Great speed by Sean Hamlet.
Very fine all-around athlete for the Hampton Crabbers. He just put on the afterburners and scored for the Hampton Crabbers. Sam Welch, by the way, is the kicker, and he had been perfect 4 for 4 coming into this game, but missed his first one tonight. So the Crabbers, after virtually being without the ball the first half,
hit a kickoff for the Crabbers, number 23, Samuel Welch.
They've only had the ball for a total of 10
Back deep
plays.
for the Warriors, number 25, Jerry Thomas. Flank on either side by number 2, Jim Ball, and number 14, Winston
the
Fox.
first 20 minutes of this
That's
game.
That's unbelievable, Tim.
10 plays, but one of them a big 85-yarder from Sean Hamlet. Kickoff fielded by Thomas at about his 15-yard line. Thomas right up the middle, across the 30. and finally taken down at about the 34-yard line. We're going to return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of the first half, but let's right now take a brief timeout.
Returning the kickoff for the Warriors. He is tackled on the play by number 30.
Back here at Darling Stadium, 4 minutes remaining in the first half. 3 wide receivers to the left for the Warriors. And Tony Jordan has no time to get the ball away as he goes across the 35 to about the 37. Gain of 3 on the play. Only second down and 7. I want to tell the fans who may not be aware of this that this is not the first time this season already that Sean Hamlin has broken off the big play. He returned the opening kickoff 94 yards against Green Run to virtually demoralize the Green Run Stallions, and they never got back in the ballgame after that.
They sure didn't, and that let a lot of air out of Kecoughtan's bubble right there. They were really dominating, and you had Hampton back against their goal line, and then Sean Hamlin comes out with a brilliant run.
Jordan, no place to go, picks up maybe 2 or 3 to the 40.
Tim, that looked like a broken play.
It really did. So the Crabbers' defense now is starting to stiffen a bit, and the Warriors at
Once
the 40
again, the Warriors,
need to get
18, Tony Jordan on
across
the
the 44. So it's third down and a long for.
Well, Tim, nothing will pump your defense up any quicker than something
Bring up a
great
third down for the
on
Warriors at around the
offense.
40-yard line.
And you will notice, and it happens in all sports, that one unit can make the other unit play better. Just all of a sudden you say, hey, we got something going now.
The Warriors had been very prolific in picking up 3rd and 4th downs against the Crabbers here in the first half. And they're facing a 3rd down and 4 now. Jordan back to pass, has plenty of time. Over the middle, got a man open. And that man, Chip Laws, tried to run with it before he tucked it home.
He sure did, Tim. He was wide open, and he was looking for which way to cut because of the defense. He took his eyes off the ball momentarily. And you see that happening in the pros all the time. And we have, sometimes we forget that these are young men that are, 14, 15, 16 years of age.
Back deep
and
for the
we expect
Crabbers,
a lot
number 9,
of
Sean Hamlin.
There you saw a replay of it. Laws is the man who feels absolutely worse than anyone about that play. And you're absolutely right. We need to remember that these young men are just that. They're high school young men. Flags all over the field and whistles will negate that play as Kecoughtan had movement along the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped.
Well, they sure did. They were minus a player, and the substitute or the player came in, and you got to give him time to set. He's got to set for a full second before the
penalty
ball
on the play.
And they never did get set.
5-yard penalty being stepped off against the Warriors for illegal procedure.
Give the Warriors, the Crabbers the ball with 2 minutes to go in the half.
So a 5-yard penalty against Kecoughtan. It's still 4th down.
On the offense, we'll repeat the down, 4th down.
They heard Jack Ridley tell you.
And we try not to talk over him. I'm so guilty of that, and you got me squared away on it. I'm keeping my shit every time we have a penalty now.
Sean Hamlet, the only deep man back for Hampton, looked like the punter put his knee down on the ground when that ball was snapped to him, but it will not be called that way, and Hamlet has to make the fair catch. Like to see that one again.
Top post punt fielded by number 9,
In
Sean
high school
Hamlin.
ball, as most of our fans would know, you cannot go to your knee with possession of the ball.
Crabbers will put the ball in play on their own 34-yard line.
Touched, you're down.
Except for one position, and that's the holder on extra points.
True.
Can advance the ball after being down because the intent is a fake.
No call, no problem. Hampton has the ball again, 34-yard line. Here's your replay. Let's see if we can get this. His knee was down when he fielded that ball. Well, they missed that one if, in fact, they did miss it. We're a lot further away, and they may have decided he just didn't touch the ground. So
Carrying the ball for the Crabbers, number 44, Shelly Ellison.
Ellison carries
He is
for
tackled on the
Hampton
play by
up to
number
the 40.
42, Morocco Brown.
He picks up 6 on the play, 2nd down and 4
Pick up
for
6
the
yards on
Crabbers.
the play.
Well, I know the Kecoughtan Warriors are glad to see number 42, Morocco Brown, back. He missed the first 2 games because of a sprained knee. He's just a sophomore, 6'1", 200-pound linebacker who is a leader He came in and played last year as a freshman, Tim, if you remember.
I sure do.
When Vincent Thomas got hurt, and their coach staff was just very high on this young man.
A fine athlete. Pickup of about a yard on the play for the Crabbers. Carrying was 35, Brian
On the
Milo.
carry for the Crabbers, number 35, Brian Milo.
Excellent effort by the
He is
Kecoughtan
tackled on the play
Warriors.
by number 33, Abdul
33,
Sarki.
Abdul Sarki. He has impressed me here in the
Timeout
first
on
half.
the field.
Crabbers are going
Called
to take
by
a
the Hampton
timeout
Crabbers.
with 3 ones on the time left, 1:11. A 6-0 Hampton lead. If you just joined us, the Kecoughtan Warriors had the ball the first quarter. All but 3 offensive plays for Hampton. The rest of the time, Kecoughtan had it, but could not get in the end zone. The Warriors did have a 1st and goal at the Hampton 6, actually 2nd and goal at the 6, a 1st down and goal at the 8. And 2 fine defensive efforts by the Crabbers pushed the Warriors back, and then they ultimately missed a field goal, which would have put them on the board. But Hampton's defense has played on the field a lot here in the first half. It's not a hot evening here, but it's still early in the season when the conditioning may tell its toll on these young men.
Well, and you don't know how the conditioning is going to be. The coaches try to get them in as good a condition as you can, Tim, but you're not being able to do the playing in a game situation. So it's a different thing to do.
Let's watch this punt again and watch and see, is his knee on the ground when that ball is fielded?
Well,
Sure
you
did look
see
like it.
Jack Windley is on the other side, and that's hard to see from our angle also.
And I got to tell you, too, he's 10 yards away, and we're about 80 yards away. So we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
And we can't zero in on it, so the play will go that if needed, not touch.
41-yard line, 3rd down and 3 for the Crabbers. Brown looks, now keeps, and gets the 1st down out to the 48-yard line. And another stoppage of the clock while the chains are advanced. That'll be a 1st down for Hampton. 1:05 remains in the first half, and we have an injured Kecoughtan Warrior, and that's Corey Bonds, and that could be a serious problem. He's played a fine first half.
Oh, he sure has, Tim, and he
Brown's carry is good
will
enough
be sorely missed
for
by
Hampton first down.
the Warriors. Corey
There's an official
Bonds,
timeout on the field.
of course, is one of their running backs.
Here's Bonds. Let's see if we can pick up. Oh, yeah.
His knee got bent underneath him,
Yeah,
Tim.
it sure did. That is not what you want to see. That is one of the worst happenstances that can occur to injure a knee. Boy.
Well, he's one of the outside linebackers. He's 6'2", 200, but he will be missed.
He is in
inside. The outside linebackers have a lot of responsibility. They have to cover the flats and passing situations and help support the run. And if you're not very deep at your linebacker, you hate to miss one of those players. And we hope that it's a minor injury.
I'm afraid that it's not a minor injury, but that could be very premature in that. He's not doing a lot of moving. He's taking it easy, so hopefully it is a cramp or a twist of the knee. But boy, that was a nasty-looking way that he went backwards there. When your leg gets caught behind you like that, and then you are...
The trainer is trying to straighten it out, and he's in definite
A
pain.
set of keys have been found in the east gate.
Kurt
They've been
Newsom
brought up
and
to the
Revis
press
Conrad
box.
are there with the trainer.
You are missing keys, and you can
They
identify
may bring a stretcher out, Tim, rather than...
I'm looking for some... apparently he's going to be helped to his feet.
Well, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, Tim.
He's not able to put a lot of weight on it, but at least... Well, that's not a great sign. He is being helped off and cannot put any weight on that.
Well, what I'm saying a great sign is they didn't have to bring out the ambulance or the stretcher or anything.
I understood your point exactly. I was just going one beyond that, and it looks like it could be the end of the evening for Corey Bonds as he is helped over, and he will be sorely missed on both offense and defense.
Absolutely.
He's played a fine first half for the Warriors, so let's hope it's nothing serious. First down for the Crabbers at their 48-yard line. Brown fakes the draw play, throws again for Mario Gatling, and this one was too high. It was uncatchable, even though there was some contact, but I think the officials would have ruled incidental contact anyway. Kevin Spencer was over to play defense for the Warriors.
This is one of the things that Jim Fay and I talked about in that interview, Tim, and I hope the fans got a chance to see it because that was just a great interview because of the information that Jim Fay gave us. But he says sometimes the best call on a passing situation is a no call. There was in that situation, both players were going for the ball, incidental contact, and he says, of course, when you make a call, half the people don't like you.
Second down and 10, same play. Brown unloads, he's got a man open, but it's again just a little too long, as his intended receiver this time was Reggie Pittman.
Intended for number 81, Reginald Pittman.
And Pittman couldn't get to the football. Brown has a real arm on him. He can throw the ball 50, 60 yards with little effort at all. Here's your replay. Brown will again fake to Hamlet, trying to freeze one of those deep men, and then throw long, and you'll see Pittman covered somewhat here, but if the ball had been on target, he would have been able to catch it.
And I think maybe Mr. Pittman did not think that the ball was going to be thrown that far.
He didn't look like he was running all that hard, did he?
Fred has a great arm, as he demonstrated there.
Kevin Spencer was on the defense again that time. They've tested him twice. Brown now is sacked by the Warrior defense. Among others, number 42 for the Warriors in there. That is Morocco Brown, you mentioned earlier. 81 Terrell Porter in on the stop as well for the Warriors. And 20 seconds remain, and the Crabbers now, with a fourth and about 14, may just elect to let the time run out. It's fourth down. They may throw the Hail Mary with little or no time remaining, but they're going to have to hurry because there's only 5 seconds. They may get this one up. Now they're going to call a timeout with 3 seconds remaining.
They want to get that last play off, and that's not a bad idea. If there's a penalty against the defense, you can't end the half. You have to play even if there's no time left on the clock. You still get one more play.
So the Crabbers use their second timeout with just 3 seconds remaining on the clock. If you joined us late, I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. This game videotaped on the 12th of September, 1991. The second game of the season for the Hampton Crabbers. They opened their season with a 40-0 whitewashing of the Green Run Stallions of the Eastern District. And the Warriors 1-1 after beating up on Booker T. Washington and losing to Mentsville. The Warriors have dominated the first half, and there we see another Kecoughtan Warrior. That is Damon Roberts, as he is limping to the locker room here close to halftime. So the Warriors having 2 key players coming up limping here in the first half. But if I may continue, this game is, as I said, the 12th of September, 1991, Kecoughtan 1-1. These 2 teams met last year in the playoffs, and Hampton came away with a 17-10 victory. So this game has been played as close as that game was, certainly to this point. Hampton a lone touchdown, an 85-yard run by Sean Hamlet. The extra point try was no good.
They're in a shotgun formation.
Got 3 wide receivers to the left. Brown has all kinds of time now, finally steps up and goes down at the 45-yard line. A ball pops loose, but he was down. And that will be the last play of the first half. So it's halftime here at Darling Stadium, and after 1/2 of the football game, the Hampton Crabbers lead 6-0 over the Kecoughtan Warriors. We'll return with the third quarter of action after a brief timeout.
Serving Hampton City schools in the 1990s, this is WHCS.
We're back at Darling Stadium. The kickoff to start the second half is taken and fumbled momentarily by Sean Hamlet. And he is finally dragged down right about the place he fielded the football. And that'll be the 20-yard line for Hampton, who will have the ball to start the second half.
Well, that was a relatively short kick. As you can see the first half statistics, Tim.
There you see the first downs more close than you might have imagined. 6-4. No penalty first downs.
The official stadium.
Yards rushing, of course, 85 of those yards for Hampton in that one carry.
All people, please find a seat as soon as
Net
possible.
yards passing.
Thank you very much.
There you see the total yards. Hampton with a gain in yardage overall. We'll get back to the stats in just a moment. Hampton, Fred Brown gives to Ellison, left side carry for a couple of yards. If we can run down, I'll make you aware of the fact that Hampton had 127 yards to 100 for Kecoughtan, average 7.5. There you see, one penalty against Hampton, no fumbles or interceptions for either squad. Well, I take that back. There was an interception for Hampton and gave them that one yard line field position that they scored on in 3 plays, 99 yards, 3 plays, 28 seconds. Pickup of 3, second down and 7. Brown looking downfield, has Stein. Stein well covered, comes back and makes an extra good effort, but can't hold on to the football. As defending on the play for the Kecoughtan Warriors was Devin Roberts, number 12.
John Stein falls incomplete.
Bob, if I may,
Covering on the play for the Warriors,
what kind of
25,
adjustments
Gary
do
Thomas.
you expect to see from either squad here in the
Bring
second
up a
half?
third
Well,
and 8 for the Hampton Crabbers.
Hampton has come out throwing the ball. Of course, they threw a lot in the first half. I know they've made some adjustments defensively. Offensively, what they're trying to do is get their wide receivers one-on-one, and they've got great speed, and they figure they can beat the defensive backs for the Warriors. Fred Brown is throwing the ball well. I look for the Warriors to look more on more passing than they did in the first half. We got a flag on the play, Tim, although we got a nice completion.
Completion out to the 44-yard line for the Kecoughtan, or rather the Hampton Crabbers, but a flag down in the area that you might expect to see a holding call, but that's premature. Let's wait and see. Jack Windley indicates it is holding, and it is against Hampton, so the guess was correct. Certainly the Warriors will accept the penalty, as it would have been a first down at the 44, and the Crabbers will look at a third down and long. The time of possession, which we were trying to get to, here's your replay. Brown does a good job of stepping up, but in the meantime, one of his teammates guilty of the holding call. But the time of possession, 16:08 for the Warriors, only 6:52 for Hampton, and Hampton had that 6:52 in the waning moments of the first half.
On the offense, repeat the down.
There you heard Jack Windley. There you see the number of punts, 2 for 50 yards.
Tim, that may be 17 and 7.
Bring up a third
Probably as close to it. It's got to be 24.
Yeah, you're right. 17:08 and 6:52. There you go. We'll get to some individual statistics in a moment. The Crabbers, again, now third down and long yardage. Third and about 17 for the first. Brown on the draw play, gives to Hamlin. Hamlin lost it for a moment, got it back, and Hamlin tries to get out. Oh, what a fine move by Sean Hamlin for a first down. Boy, does he do stuff with that football that you just don't expect to see on the field.
He is very elusive in the open field, Tim, as we saw on that play and on that 88-yard run of his, or 85-yard run of his. Nice call. Everybody was looking for a pass, and they came up with the draw play.
Here you see Hamlin. Now watch right here. He is going to make a fake on number 2 and 51 for Kecoughtan and turn it. There was the first down marker, and that's how they got the first down on the fine fake. Inside handoff to Ellison. The Warriors that were faked out on that play, Chip Laws, and of course number 51 is William Mix, but they really had a hard time keeping up with Hamlin, but then they're in good company. Most people do.
Yeah, that's true.
Gain on the play of about 4 for the Crabbers. Second down and 6 for Hampton. Near side comes number 80. That is Wayne Spencer Jr. Stein wide to the left. Handoff. Ellison out close to another first down. Individually for the Crabbers running in the first half, Sean Hamlin with that big 85-yarder. He carried twice for 87 all totaled. Alex Brown 6 times for 27. Netted out at 23 when you took out a 4-yard loss he had. Ellison 3 times for 16 and Milo once for 1 yard. Here's your replay. Here you see Big Shelly Ellison just tuck that ball away and get out close to the first down. And it was, in fact, a first down for the Hampton Covers.
Well, I did get a chance to ask you.
I was
kept
busy
talking.
For the Warriors in the first half, Jordan carried 12 times for 28 yards net. He suffered a 10-yard loss at one point. Thomas, 11 carries for 36 yards. Bonds twice for 10. And remember, Bonds left late in the first half with an injury, and we'll try and get a better idea of that injury and its effect. First down for the Crabbers at the 48. Their 48. Stacked up, and a nice move to get outside is Milo. And Milo is tripped up by Thomas and gets to the 45-yard line.
Well, that was number 42, Morocco Brown on the stop.
I said Milo, and I correct myself. That is not. That is number 30, and that is Shelton Snow. I stand corrected. Here, nice job to get outside by Snow.
Oh, he was stopped where the ball was intended to go, Tim.
Here you go. Whoops. He took a header.
Wasn't Morocco Brown that tripped him up? That was
Thomas
on the end
that
of the
got
play.
it.
You're right.
Second down and 3 for the Crabbers. Ellison again close to the first down. Crabbers using Ellison, 6'2", 212. He's just a junior. When we talk about these veteran ball players for the Crabbers, a lot of these veterans are sophomores last year, juniors this year.
Well, and Ellison was, they really were high on him as a freshman. He injured his knee in the first part of the season last year and didn't come into his own till towards the end of the season.
Rounding out the stats, and I will do that right after this play. Third down and a yard for the Crabbers. Quick look in as a one-hopper to Stein. It'll go incomplete. In the passing department, Brown was 0 for 5 in the first half.
Falls incomplete. Covering on the play for the Warriors, number 2, Chip Laws.
And Jordan, 2 of 6 for 24 yards. So neither team effective in the passing department in the first half. Just 2 catches for a total of 24 yards for Jordan and none for Brown in the first half. All right, enough of those statistics, and our good friend Gary Moore providing us with these expert statistics, and we appreciate it. Fourth down and short yardage, and the Crabbers are not going to get the first down. The Warrior defense comes up big.
That was a great defensive play by the Warriors. The ball carrier went laterally instead of straight ahead. You've got to get that initial thrust through the defensive line, and he did not make it. That was Shelton Snow. Great defensive play by the Warriors, and that could pick them up a bit.
Kecoughtan will take over at their 44. But we remind you of some injuries that we saw in the first half to Kecoughtan. We'll have to see whether or not they are a factor. A nice diving catch by number 7, Macy Brooks of Kecoughtan for a first down. So Jordan threads the needle for the big gainer to the Hampton 43-yard line.
Well, that young man is 6'4", 200 pounds, and just a junior, and he's stretched out, as you will see here, just dove for the ball. Nice camera work. Look at that. Nice shot. Camera crew doing great. Slow-mo people.
Last second, the pitch. And the receiver of that pitch was Abdul Sarki, and he gets the ball down across the Hampton 40 to about the 38-yard line.
Well, he being Tony Jordan looked like he was thrown for a loss and had enough presence of mind to pitch the ball. Picked up, what was that, Tim, about 5 yards
on the play.
Gain of about 5, second down and 5 for Kecoughtan. Tony Jordan doing a fine job at quarterback for the Warriors here. Jordan is a senior, 6'3", 180. Second down and 5 at the Hampton 38. Jordan, right side, handoff to Sarki. Sarki will not get the first down as he is stacked up at about the 36.5-yard line.
Tony Jordan has been looked at by a lot of coaches, specifically recently Duke was looking at him. He has a brother that plays down at the University of North Carolina. Remember, Doxy Jordan, also a quarterback at the Warriors, is a defensive back down there for the Tar Heels. Duke is looking at him as our other teams. Fine athlete, Tony Jordan.
Gained him about a yard on the play. It's 3rd down and a long 3 for the Warriors. Jordan keeps, pitches, and this is Spencer, Kevin Spencer, across the 30 for the first down. So Kevin Spencer, who was used on defense late in the first half, had a couple of good tests and did fine on that test. This time carries for the first down.
1st and 10 for Kecoughtan at the Hampton 29-yard line.
So the Warriors now at the Hampton 29-yard line. 5:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Hampton leading 6-0 on an 85-yard run by Sean Hamlet in the 2nd quarter. Our only score in the ball game. Jordan with plenty of time, unloads. Intended for Macy Brooks, knocked away at the last second. Good defensive effort, a touchdown-saving stop by Walter Ford of Hampton.
Here's another youngster, 5'9", 160, just a sophomore.
Up on the play by number 2, Walter Ford.
Ford had a good shot at intercepting that ball.
He really did, Tim. The ball was just underthrown. He was beat deep, as you can see on the replay.
And he just couldn't quite hold on to it, but if that ball got through his hands, Hampton would be looking at a tie
Macy
score.
Brooks would have had a touchdown.
2nd down and 10. All at the Hampton 29-yard line. Jordan on the keeper, pitches. Sarkey is decked. In on the stop for the Hampton Crabbers is Myron Newsom, and he crushed Sarkey.
What a hit by Myron Newsom.
For the Warriors.
I felt that one up here, Tim.
Hampton coaches up here in the press box like that play. You'll see this on the replay. This is why you don't want to play
4 yards
football.
on the play will bring up a 3rd and 14.
Jordan does a good job of getting it away, and Sarkey says, oh, I wish you hadn't. He just been leveled by Myron Newsom.
Well, Sharkey was going to make a cut, and he just couldn't get out of his way. He saw Newsom coming.
33-yard line is the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 13. Jordan trying to get outside, does step out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Jordan keeping the ball for the Warriors. He is driven out of bounds.
Tony is very elusive, Tim. As we saw in that run, it looked like 2 or 3 people had a good shot at him, and he avoided being tackled and ran the ball out of bounds, but brings up a 4th down. Again, Kecoughtan is in 4-down territory. Watch this replay. Nice move here by Tony to avoid being tackled.
Watch a better move by our cameraman to avoid being crushed.
I tell you, Rob Bateman showed a little bit of skill getting out of the way that time too, didn't he?
4th down and about 8 for the Warriors. And as they have so often in the first half and here in the 3rd quarter, they're going for it. Quarterback flips it back, option pass, just off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Aaron Hendrickson. Oh, how close could you get?
I think number 16 for the Warriors,
42, Morocco Brown.
Aaron Hendrickson, was worried about getting out of the end zone. I don't think he knew exactly where he was and kind of held up a little bit. Had he went ahead and dove for the ball, he would have made a nice call. And a nice pass by Morocco Brown.
Morocco Brown on the halfback option. Throws it up there. It's a little wobbly, but it's close and just off his fingertips. Good camera work, people.
Nice try.
So the 4th down gives the ball over to the Crabbers. A game of inches. You've heard it a dozen times tonight already. Sean Hamlet draw play, left side. He's got big yardage. He's out across the 45-yard line.
Sean Hamlet, if he can't outrun you or give you a move, will run right over you.
Sean Hamlet on the
Put his head down and took a couple of Warriors with him.
1st down at the Hampton 45.
Watch the replay on this draw play, Tim, and watch Hamlet make some moves. Right here, he goes between some. Well, we lost. There it is. And now he's just going to put his head down and take a couple of them with him. What a nice job.
Ball did come loose,
but it was knocked loose by the after he was down. It was ruled.
First down at the Hampton 45. Stein to the near side. Only wide receiver out of the eye. Hand off. Second man through. Ellison close to midfield. Picked up
Number 44,
almost
Shelly
5.
Ellison carrying the ball for the Crabbers. He is tackled on the play by
Second
number 7,
down
Macy
and
Brooks.
5 for the Crabbers.
Pick up of 5 yards on the play.
3:29 remaining in the third quarter. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz coming to you from Darling Stadium. The first of our 6 regular season games scheduled, pitting the Hampton City Schools against each other. Our next match will be a Hampton-Phoebus game on the 4th of October. Sean Hamlet with great speed burst across the 35, close to the 30-yard line.
He gets between the tacklers, Tim, as quick as anybody I've seen. He really has an acceleration. Like he shifts gears.
Pickup is good enough for a first down.
Watch this
First down
move.
for the Crabbers at the Warriors.
Right there, he breaks through, and then all of a sudden, acceleration plus. He dropped the ball, but ended up with it. Nice concentration. Back
Ellison.
to live action.
Ellison with the ball to the 30. The Crabbers using a variety of attack here. A lot of the play has been on the shoulders of Sean Hamlet, and Fred Brown has gone to the delayed handoff on numerous occasions. Big crowd on hand, as it should be, for this fine matchup between these two longtime rivals. The Kecoughtan Warriors home against the visiting Hampton Crabbers. Second down and about 8. Pitch to Hamlet. Hamlet's got a little hole, and that's all he needs, all the way down to the 21-yard line.
Tim, there's not very many seats left today at either side of the Darling Stadium. This is almost a capacity crowd here tonight.
It's been a beautiful night for football so far, and we've seen a very fine football game between these two teams.
Well, the reason we're playing this on a Thursday night instead of a typically Friday night is because this weekend, of course, is Hampton Bay Days. And they were going to schedule it for Saturday afternoon, but the coaches didn't want to play, and I don't blame them. Saturday afternoon, you have a tendency to be hotter and maybe not get the crowd that we've got tonight.
3rd and 1, the ball is loose. And Kecoughtan says they have it. They do. So the Crabbers turn it over. That's about the 3rd time in this drive that the ball has come loose, only this time the Crabbers do not recover.
Well, pretty soon the odds got to get in your favor.
The turnover will give the Warriors the football.
Sean Bunyan, number 80, recovered that loose ball for the Warriors, and they dodged the bullet as the Crabbers had momentum. So they'll start from their 19-yard line with 1:40 remaining in the third quarter. And again, a lone touchdown.
And the fumble was right at the handoff. The fumble was right when they were made the handoff.
Now you got to know that the field is in great condition. The ball is
Malloy and
dry.
his crew.
There's no rain. Yeah, my yard is the brightest yellow you ever saw. This field in great condition. This is Jordan. Jordan keeping, trying to get outside, close to the 30-yard line. He'll be real close to a first down. I believe he has one.
Oh, if they spot that ball, which they did, Tim, right at the 30, that is a first down.
He is tackled on the play by number 2.
I noticed earlier, just before halftime, that you had some smoke coming out your ears, Tim.
I want the folks at home to know that I went downstairs at halftime and got me one of those hot sausages. And hot isn't the word that I would use to describe that thing. That smoke was not from a cigarette, folks. That was from a hot sausage. That is some kind of good. We invite you to enjoy the concessions here at Darling Stadium. Starkey with the handoff to about the 32-yard line, where again, Myron Newsom, who has been all over the field for the Crabbers tonight, makes the stop. I don't have individual tackle statistics for Newsom, but he certainly has been a force for the Hampton defense. Let's see if I got something here. Mike Golly, 9 first-half tackles for Myron Newsom.
Well, how about Carlin Brown?
Here, Gary, huh?
How about Carlin Brown? He would call his name a lot.
Brown had 3 individual tackles and a half a sack. Jordan is wrapped up and down. 3rd down and long coming up.
Well, he did something that was, I'm sure, that made Coach Newsom swallow rather hard. Tony tried to avoid one of the tacklers and held the ball out to the side, which really kind of puts it in a precarious situation.
That is the end of the third quarter. Here you see the final play of the quarter.
Watch how he throws the ball out.
And there you see Mario Gatling and others in their number 81 for the Crabbers as well. And 81 is Reggie Pittman, another name you're familiar with. We've got the end of the third quarter, 6-0 still. I don't think anyone would have imagined it'd be 6-0. Just a reminder, Channel 5 is education. Channel 5 is information. Channel 5 is entertainment. Channel 5 is cable television you can trust your children with. We invite you to join the family to watch Channel 5. Sports, education, information, all here on Channel 5. We enjoy bringing these games to you, and we want to make you aware of the fact that there are a lot of other fine programs on Channel 5 that you can enjoy with your family here in Hampton. And it's a fine organization. Well, about fourth quarter, you're leading 6-0. You've got Kecoughtan, who controlled the ball for the first half. This game is wide open. I'm going to ask you to go on a limb here. What do you think is going to happen here in the fourth?
I wouldn't even venture a guess. Kecoughtan had the ball 17 minutes. Hampton had it about 7 in the first half, and yet Hampton came away with the lead. So you can't go on possession and all. You got to cross the goal line. Hampton is a very explosive team offensively. Kecoughtan seems to be more of a short yardage team. They will pick them up, and install when they get down towards the goal line. So they're going to try to open it up a little this second half.
Jordan long downfield, incomplete. Again, his intended receiver was number 7, Macy Brooks. He's 6'4", 200, just a junior for Kecoughtan.
And he was covered by Sean Hamlet, who has done everything offensively, who was 6'3", 192 as a senior, so they're about the same size, Tim.
We do want to remind you again that at the conclusion of the game, you will have some post-game interviews, I
will
understand.
get down there and try to round up some people.
And then right after that, we'll have the halftime show as it was performed here in its entirety at Darling Stadium. So if you got a student, a kid that's in the band or part of that organization, stay tuned at the conclusion of the game. Ball is loose, a good job of getting it away. And they're going to say he's down at the 8-yard line. They're going to say his knee went down. A fine effort on the part of Todd Pope.
Yeah, because to get the ball off and to kick it as far as he did, that was just unbelievable.
But they say his knee went down. We'll get a chance perhaps to see this on the replay. But nonetheless, the Warriors are going to give the ball up to the Crabbers inside their 10-yard line.
Well, Tim, if you remember that first half, you had mentioned that it looked like he had put his knee down during the first half. The coaching staff at Hampton may have talked to Jack Windley about it.
Here it is. Let's see. And the ball is loose. And he's got it, and he is down.
There was no doubt about that.
Good call by Jack Windley's crew. First and goal at the 8. This is Ellison down close to the 6. Good camera work by our crew as usual. Slow-mo Joe doing a great job. Our director, Scotty Bowers, as always, right on top of things.
Well, I tell you, our crew of Melvin Hooker and Ron Baton and Jerome Young on the cameras just give us a great different angles and different shots. We're very, very fortunate to have the quality of camera work that we do.
And we do that. Second down and goal. They mark the ball at about the 7. Out of the eye. Fred Brown keeps. And Fred close to the goal line, scores. So Fred Brown will keep it for 7 yards, and Hampton will benefit from the high snap from center that Kecoughtan suffered.
The 7-yard touchdown run for the Hampton Crabbers.
7 yards for Fred Brown.
7-yard touchdown run.
Coming with 10:50 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Point after touchdown to the Hampton Crabbers, number 23, Samuel Welch. Out of the hole of number 80.
Sam Welch will try for the extra point. Welch's kick is up, and it is good this time.
Perfect center and to the holder that time, Tim. It was very well timed.
Here's the replay. Watch as Brown fakes the handoff. Looks like he stopped right there, but he does a fine job. He's got good speed, too. He meets one of the Kecoughtan defenders and just bowls him over on his way to the end zone. So the Crabbers have been held in check by a tough Kecoughtan team for the most part in this ball game, and now finally the Crabbers are able to get on the scoreboard. That's the second touchdown of the season for Fred Brown. Sean Hamlin has 2, and Stein, Ellison, Pittman, and Milo have the others for the Crabbers this season. In that green run game, 6 different Crabbers scored touchdowns.
And the kickoff for the Crabbers, number 23, Samuel Welch.
So Brown and Hamlin have added touchdowns here for the 2 touchdowns Hampton has. 10:50 remaining in the fourth quarter. A valiant effort by the by the Kecoughtan Warriors to stave off the team that almost everyone picks to be at least the Peninsula District champion, if not much greater things than that. Crabbers with a relatively short kickoff. It goes out of bounds, and it'll either be marked at the 33-yard line or they'll kick it over.
Well, that may not be a bad play that time. You got a chance to get the ball. If you're the Crabbers, you don't give the Warriors a chance for a long run back, as we saw in the opening kickoff. They had it almost broken for a touchdown. So that's not a bad call by the Crabber coaching staff. If you're the Warriors, Tim, excuse me, if you're the Warriors, you've got to think we got to open it up a little bit, pass a little more. We got to get the big play. We're down 2 scores. We got to score quick, try to get the ball back.
The Warriors thought about it and decided to, in fact, have Hampton penalized 5 yards and to kick it over. They want that opportunity, as you said, to return the kick.
Penalty against the Hampton Crabbers being stepped off.
So the 5-yard penalty will move the ball back.
35-yard line. Illegal procedure is the call.
He lost a second on the clock there, even though no one actually touched the ball. One of those things that just happens sometimes, you know? Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts remaining here in the fourth quarter. 13-0, Hampton. It's been a hard-fought ball game from the beginning. The crowd has gotten their money's worth tonight. So the Crabbers will try it again. This one is angled to the far sideline, and it is going to be taken by Spencer at the 18-yard line. And Spencer is taken at the 25-yard line. In on the stop for Hampton was number 20, Maurice Smith.
Number 14, Winston Fox.
5'9", 160 junior, Tim, and nobody touched Maurice. Came right through. Nice, clean tackle. Puts a lot of pressure on the Warriors. They got 75 yards to go to get a score, and they've got 10:40 and counting.
Here's your replay. You'll see Spencer, and he's crushed. Stopped dead in his tracks at the 25-yard line. Kecoughtan with Tim Taylor all the way down to the near sidelines here. Jordan steps up, picks up good yardage, gets away from one would-be tackler, and gets the first down. So the Warriors set up with 2 wide receivers. Tim Taylor, if we had the picture of the offensive set of the Warriors, Tim Taylor was 50 yards outside of the picture. He was almost out of bounds to the near sideline. As the Warriors have to do something now to get back.
Well, they're trying to stretch that Hampton defense, stretch it, make them play the whole field, and hopefully put some creases in there to get either some passes against their defense or runs like that Tony did on the quarterback keeper.
And he, as you saw there on the replay, picked up a first down. This time, pass over the middle, complete for another first down. This time it is Aaron Hendrickson, who just narrowly missed a touchdown grab a little while ago. That
Jordan's pass is complete to number 16, Aaron
such a big difference in this ballgame.
He is tackled on the play by number 9, Sean Hamlin.
Sean Hamlin, a 2-way player for the Crabbers.
Gain is good enough for another Kecoughtan first down. 1st and 10 for the Warriors on their own 48-yard line.
Hamlin, if I remember correctly, in that opening game, as I said, for Hampton against Green Run, ran 94 yards for the opening kickoff. 48-yard line is where they've marked another Kecoughtan first down. Clock continues to move now. We're down to 9:20, and it's moving. And now it'll stop because the Warriors took too much time. Oh, that just drives you crazy.
If you're coach, it really does. Tim, Mr. Hendrickson, Aaron Hendrickson, and Billy Bowden, who play side by side and in tackle, scored 14-60 and 14-10 or 20 on their on their SATs. You got a lot of intelligence on that side of the line.
5-yard penalty being stepped off against the Warriors for delay of game.
One of them was 14-60, the other one was like 14-20. So, you know, there's a whole lot of difference there. That is awesome.
First and 15 for the Warriors. Jordan still has the football, throws it behind his intended receiver, and that man was Chip Laws, the sophomore wide
Jordan
receiver.
Pass intended for number 2, Chip Laws. Pass falls incomplete. Covering on the play for the Crabbers, number 9, Sean Hamlin.
Hampton leading by 13. An 85-yard run by Sean Hamlin, a 7-yard scamper by Fred Brown, the two scores in this ballgame. Warriors looking at a second down at 15. On the delay, and not much happening as Thomas got the call. Terry Thomas, the senior running back, 5'10", 150.
And he ran right into Carlin Brown. Carlin Brown didn't stop him, but made him change his direction and run right into the waiting Crabbers to get tackled.
Give an assist on that tackle to Lloyd Tucker, number 74.
Bring up a 3rd and 14 for the Warriors.
44-yard line is where Kecoughtan is, and they need to get all the way down to the Hampton 42-yard line and then some to get a first down. 3rd down and about 14. Jordan out of the pocket, throws. Brooks has it. Macy Brooks with a great grab.
Wow.
First down at the 36-yard line.
What a nice catch. That's not the first good catch he's made tonight.
Had that leaping catch earlier for a first down, and now he repeats that effort. And the Warriors, who are looking at a 3rd and long, come up with the big down for first. Here's your replay. Jordan just throws a bullet to Brooks between 3 defenders.
And he was asking to come out of Macy was asking to come out, get a breather, but nobody saw him.
Out of the eye, Jordan will get nothing. In on the stop, among others, was again number 74, Lloyd Tucker.
Keeper. Tackled on the play by number 74, Lloyd Tucker. No gain on the play.
7:45 left in the 4th quarter. And with a 2nd down and 10. We're going to be looking at our players of the game here, Bob? Is that what we got to do?
Starting to think about him, yes.
Jordan fakes, throws, and is a completed no. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Aaron Hendrickson again.
Intended for number 16, Aaron Hendrickson.
It brings up a 3rd down and 10 for the Warriors.
Play by number 55, Myron Newsom. Bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Warriors at the Hampton 36-yard line.
Here's your replay. Jordan pumped and then tried to throw, and it was just off the hands of Hendrickson. Brooks back in the ball game, near side, wide receiver. Wide to the left is Tim Taylor. Coffin corner pass, and it's no good, as defending on the play was John Stein, but the ball was not even close to.
Well, that was a miscommunication between the wide receiver and the quarterback, Jordan and Macy Brooks. Brooks broke in, and Jordan passed the ball that he would be breaking to at the corner or to the sideline.
So the Warriors now looking at a 4th down and 10, and they'll take a timeout as Kurt Newsom. Here's your replay. And as I said, not really near anyone. Stein, the closest player to the ball. We want to let you know that Hampton City Schools are planning today for tomorrow's successes. And parents, you can play a vital part in your child's education. Plan to become an active participant with your child's PTA. The school could use your help. Help your child with his homework. Work hand in hand with his teacher, following his assignments and progress closely. And most of all, give him encouragement every chance you get. Remember, your child will benefit in the long run from your efforts and concern, becoming a better student and a better citizen. Hampton City Schools working with you for the future. I had to make a grammatical correction here in our little promos. Schools are. So the Warriors looking at a crucial 4th down and 10 at the Hampton 36-yard line. They've called their timeout, they've discussed it, and they're going for it, obviously, trailing 13-0. Jordan in the pocket, has time, steps up, throws, got a man wide open at the 24-yard line, all the way down inside the 20 is Chip Laws, number 2. They needed to get to the 26, and they got all the way down to the 20.
But a nice throw by Jordan and a beautiful pass pattern run by Chip Laws. He was wide open, Tim. He went down and broke back to the ball.
First down for the Warriors, and that was a big first down. Thomas on the draw play. Down across the 15-yard line. Third quarter summary, Hampton with 4 first downs, the Warriors with 3.
By number 55.
Hampton at a 33% third down in proficiency as the Warriors were 50%. Total net yards, Hampton with 100, Kecoughtan with 42. Hampton fumbled and lost the ball 1 time during the quarter, and the time of possession relatively even, 7:16 for Hampton, 7:44 for the Warriors. Jordan has some time now, rolls, looks, trying to find a man open, can't find anybody, so keeps the ball instead and gets down inside the 10-yard line.
And he looks like he picked up enough yardage for the first down, Tim, on that nice spin move.
Keeping the ball for the Warriors. He is tackled on the play by number 81.
In the third quarter, Sean Hamlin individually carried 4 times for 68 yards. Ellison 5 for 19, Snow 3 for 9, and Capehart 1 for 4. And we'll get back to individual stats here in just a moment. First and goal, the ball at the 10-yard line. Jordan looks in the end zone, throws, touchdown! Chip Laws on a 10-yard pass from Tony Jordan.
What a nice throw by Jordan.
Check that, not Laws, but Brooks, number 7. I thought it was number 2. I apologize. Macy Brooks. 75-yard drive. It was 12 plays, and it took 5 minutes for the Warriors to get on the scoreboard.
Jeremy Scarrett.
Scarrett will try the extra point. It is up, and it's good.
Number 8, Jeremy Scarrett, point after touchdown is good.
Now the Warrior faithful are jubilant.
Making the score
Got over until the front lady sing.
ball game this evening. The Hampton Crabbers 13, the Kecoughtan Warriors 7.
Let's just watch and listen. Here's your replay. Boy, did Sean Hamlin put a lick on Brooks after he caught it. But Brooks, good hands, held on and had presence of mind to hold up the 2 fingers for the peace sign. He says, I got it.
Your attention, please. Mr. Schaefer. Mr. Schaefer, please meet Larry Mitchell
Get a
at the
chance to
East
watch
Gate.
that again. It was a little
Mr.
dark
Schaefer,
on our
please
replay
meet
here.
Larry
I think
Mitchell at
maybe
the East Gate. That is the
we
gate
might be able to show that to you
where the
one more
scoreboard
time
is.
before we're
Thank you.
through. But nonetheless,
Jeremy
the
Scarrett
Warriors
to kick off for the Warriors.
have to be
For the
thinking
Crabbers, number 9,
the
Sean
possibility of a short kick. onside or at least something of that variety, maybe a squib kick. But instead they do in fact kick it away. It is a wobbler fielded at the 18-yard line. Out to the 32 or 33.
Number 2, Walter Ford on the kickoff return for the Crabbers.
Here's the score again. Here is the touchdown over again.
The play by number 62, Clifton Mills.
Jordan with plenty of time, steps back, throws, and Brooks is between defenders.
First and 10.
Sean Hamlet lets him know he was there, but not before Brooks hauls it down for the touchdown.
Well, I'm going to be moving down to the field, Tim. I put my people down who I think you pick who you want to go, okay, with the player of the game.
All right. Is that feeble little circle? Is that what we're supposed to do?
That's my man.
Ellison carries for the Crabbers out close to the 35.
Carrying the ball for the Crabbers, number 44, Shelly Ellison. He is tackled on the play by number 33, Abdul Sarki.
Sarki
pick up 2 yards on the play.
The Crabbers. Gain of about 3 on the play. Second down and 7 for Hampton. They've got their 3 timeouts remaining. Kecoughtan with 2 timeouts. And we have 4:50 left in the fourth quarter. I do remind you that there is just a 6-point difference in this ball game. That missed extra point by Hampton could come back to be very important. Mario Gatling has the ball at the Kecoughtan 45 all the way down to the 40. Mario Gatling with his first grab of the evening. Brown with his first completed pass coming with 4:37 to go in the fourth quarter. And that is not typical of his proficiency. Here's your replay.
Completion is good enough for a Hampton first down. First and 10 for the
Brown with a lot of time.
40-yard line.
Got a little bit of pressure, but by that time, Mario Gatling was open, and the big target for Brown was there for the first down at the Kecoughtan 40. Clock running with 4:20 remaining. This is Sean Hamlet. Hamlet picks up yardage
Sean Hamlet carrying the ball for the
to the 40, check that 36-yard line. Pick up of almost 4. Let's call it 4 and make it second down and 6.
Tim, it's a whole lot different down here on the field than it is up there on the press box.
On Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday at 8 p.m.
I mentioned earlier that Brown completed just his first pass of the ballgame against Green Run. He was 6 of 13 for 89 yards. Brown feels the pressure, gets away from one would-be tackler. He's got good quickness, wants to get outside, and finally loses his footing. He is down, and the ball pops loose, but it is after the whistle had blown.
Well, that was a nice move that time by Fred Brown, Tim. He was almost stopped in the backfield. Made a nice move to pick up some yardage.
Short of the first down, you'll see the replay here. He ran a whole long ways to pick up the yardage he got. Felt the pressure, stepped up. He, like Ellison, check that, like Hamlet, has real good acceleration. Then he just lost his footing. The ball was starting to come loose when he went down, but they ruled that he had possession when his knee went down. Third down and short. This is Hamlet, and Hamlet will be very close to a first down. The mark will be very important here.
Well, it depends on where they spot the ball,
Tim. Handoff for the Crabbers, number 9, Sean Hamlet. Tackled on the play for the Warriors by number 55.
I'll tell you, Tim, even from the sideline, it's going to be hard to see.
Well, they
gave it to him.
Ruled right away that it was close enough, and it is a first down. And we'll return to Darling Stadium with the conclusion of tonight's ball game after a brief timeout. First down and 10 for the Crabbers. Sean Hamlet gets the call. Struggles for a yard or 2. Make that 3. 2:20 left in the fourth quarter.
Tim,
carrying the ball for Hampton, number 9, Sean Hamlet.
Tim, the Warriors are dang tackling the ball carrier and trying to knock the ball loose so they can get the ball back with 2 minutes to go. Their opponent right now is not only Hampton, but the clock.
Pickup of about 3 on the play. Let's call it second down and around 7. 1:50 remaining. Hampton letting the clock run as far as it can without getting a penalty. Of course, Kecoughtan with just 2 timeouts remaining. They used 1 earlier. Pitch goes to Hamlet. Hamlet, running room right side, all the way down inside the 15, inside the 10 for a first and goal for the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, that's really going to make it tough on them, Tim.
Taking the pitch for
Them
the Crabbers,
being
number 9,
the
Sean
Warriors.
Hamlin. He is stopped on the play by number 14,
On the yard line with 1:34 to go.
Here's another chance. Bob, we're watching the replay here. I want to tell you that my pick for the player of the game is going to offset yours, because the man that we're watching on the replay, Sean Hamlet, is my pick for the player of the game on the Hampton side, and you had picked Lloyd Tucker, so we'll have to have our director break the tie. And I'll go along very easily with Thomas as the pick on the player of the game for Kecoughtan. First and goal for the Crabbers. Sean Hamlet inside the 5, down to the 3.
Well, Sean Hamlet has definitely been a offensive spark for the Warriors. So, you know, I'll go with you and Sean Hamlet and Dr. Still on that.
Yeah, I've got our director has broken the tie. He is agreeing with me with Sean Hamlet. And it was not an easy choice. Lloyd Tucker did a fine job. Carlin Brown with a fine job. Timeout being called by Kecoughtan. So we'll take this opportunity to discuss this part a little further. You get a chance to see the Hampton side of the field. They are the visitors tonight. But Carlin Brown, Fred Brown, Sean Hamlet, Tucker, Myron Newsom, whose name I repeated many times. He led the first half with 9 individual tackles. So Myron's certainly a strong candidate on the Hampton Ledger. And we need to put that little disclaimer in there, Bob, about our player of the game, in that this is certainly unscientific, and in no means do we ever try to slight any individual player. It's just an impression that we get from watching the game that goes into the choices we make. Sean Hamlin with 187 yards rushing tonight on 11 carries. So I think, and I agree with Lloyd Tucker's had a fine game, but Sean Hamlin gets our vote player of the game for Hampton. And I have no problem at all with Terry Thomas being the player of the game with Kecoughtan. And we should mention that certainly Brooks, Macy Brooks, Corey Bonds, Tony Jordan has had a fine game for the Warriors as well. 44 seconds remain in the fourth quarter, and I keep emphasizing fourth quarter. There is an overtime in high school ball, but right now the Hampton Crabbers are in the driver's seat with the ball, and Kecoughtan having just 1 timeout remaining. The Crabbers with a second down and goal probably can run the clock out just by keeping possession here.
Well, Tim, I don't know if they're going to try to score or not, but this is a bootleg.
Excuse me, Brown rather, a late flag in the pack.
Number 12, Fred
Brown scored, but let's see the penalty.
Well, I don't know if that flag came, Tim, before the man crossed the goal line or not. It was very close. It looks like it's against the Crabbers. We'll see.
That's what it is, a clipping call against the Crabbers, and that's a shame for Hampton, because that had absolutely nothing to do with the actual touchdown itself. It was way behind the play, but a penalty nonetheless. And the Crabbers will have the touchdown nullified. Here's your replay. I don't know if we'll pick up the clip or not, but you'll see Brown here
15 yards
with a nice step to get outside and into the end zone, but it is negated by the clipping penalty against Hampton.
Well, replay ball out to the Warrior 18-yard line, where it will be second down for the Hampton Crabbers.
Tim, that play only took 4 seconds. It seemed like it was longer than that, but it was only 4 seconds off the clock.
It did seem longer. 18-yard line is where they've marked the ball, so instead of a second and goal at the 3, the Crabbers are backed up 15 yards. A discussion on the far sideline by the coaching staff with Brown. Here's, you're going to see your replay. I think we can pick up the clip right there in the, yeah, right there on 16. But I don't know if that was where the clip was or not. Shelly Ellison gets the call, and he picks up yardage down close to the 13-yard line. But more importantly, that clock is moving with just 1 timeout left for the Warriors.
He's tripped up on the play by number 80.
Third down and goal at the 13. Make that the 12th. And the Crabbers, of course, are going to milk every second off of that clock. They may have to run one more play. I'm not sure of the exact time when the ball was spotted. It looks like they may not. They will not have to. The Crabbers will let the time run out, and they will get out of here with a hard-fought 13-7 victory over the Kecoughtan Warriors in what I guess most of us expected would be a tough ball game. Hampton, a fine football team, and Kecoughtan certainly in that same category, as the Warriors showed their ability to come back after suffering that defeat at the hands of the Menchville Monarchs last week. Bob, I got an eye on you down there. I'll let you try and find whoever it is you're going to try and talk with, and I'll kind of run my mouth here while you do that. Again, we remind you to please stay tuned at the conclusion of our coverage for the halftime show as it was performed here at Darling Stadium tonight. And please join our halftime hostess, as she will have for you all of the goodies from halftime. Karen Schaffner. That'll be in its entirety following our interviews and wrap-up here of tonight's game.
I'd like to remind you that this evening's game will be aired on
Again, the Hampton Crabbers 2-0 now on the season after winning 40-0 over Green Run and then really having their hands full with the Kecoughtan Warriors tonight. And on the strength of Sean Hamlet's 85-yard touchdown run and Fred Brown's 7-yard scamper, that is the way they scored. And of course the pass from Jordan to Macy Brooks, the lone score for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Right now, we're done to you, Bob.
Tim, I got Coach Smith there. Well, nice birthday present, Coach.
Well, I think we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. We played more like it the first game this time than we did the first game. We made so many mistakes. They played really well, but we just made so many mistakes, and then we just got lax there.
Well, I tell you, Sean Hamlet really sparked. Man can really accelerate. I was very impressed.
He's an excellent football player, Coach. I thought, it was a good ball game. I thought we played really well defensively, except that one drive, because they got a good offensive football team. We had our back against the wall.
Well, you guys did a good job coming back, and congratulations on a nice birthday present.
I wasn't sure what they were going to do, Bob. I was kind of waiting to see if he was going to get an early shower or whether he was going to be helped off the field. The Hampton Crabber team, of course, helping Mike Smith celebrate his 50th birthday tonight with another victory. And the Hampton Crabbers go to 2-0. The Warriors fall to 1-2. And we see Sean Hamlet over there, Mike Keach from the Daily Press, who is most generous with his statistics, having a word or two with Sean. And it looks like Bob now is going to have our Hampton player of the game, Sean Hamlet.
Sean, congratulations on a fine win. We picked you as the player of the game.
Thank you.
I was very impressed with your moves when you got the ball and your acceleration.
Yes, well, I really worked on my speed all off season, you know. I was looking forward to get some time at tailback because I did so well on defense last year, so I wanted to balance it off.
Well, you play the safety on defense, which is almost like the quarterback, because you see everything that's happening playing the safety position. Coming in offense, what do you like the best?
You talking about what the offense runs?
Yeah, right. If you like offense or defense, the best.
I like defense the best.
Well, you hit the young man that caught that ball for that touchdown. He knew that you were around there.
Yeah, that's the pass we work on the most, the seam pass, right in the middle, and that's nothing but a kill shot for the safety.
Well, listen, I want to congratulate you again on a fine performance, and not only you but the whole team, and look forward to following you the rest of the season.
Okay, thank you.
Good enough, and we'll have a shirt for you and a plaque. Okay. Good enough. Thanks, Tim. Let's go back up to you.
All right, thank you, Bob, and we're going to wrap it up here. The final score again, and we thank Sean Hamlet and Mike Smith, the head coach for Hampton, taking an opportunity to chat with us. A tough loss for the Kecoughtan Warriors. They truly played a very fine ball game, controlled the ball for better than 17 minutes in the first half, but couldn't put it across the goal line. And the Hampton Crabber defense was tough when it had to be, kept them out of the end zone, and scored 2 touchdowns of their own to hold on to a 13-7 victory over the Kecoughtan Warriors. That's going to do it for us here at Darling Stadium. The final score, Hampton 13, Kecoughtan 7. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole and the entire crew. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Channel 5. Good night, everybody.
name is Karen Schaffner, your Channel 5 halftime announcer. This evening we host the Kecoughtan High School Marching Warrior Band under the direction of Mr. Ken Bodiford. The drum majors are Anissa Tucker and Hank Carter. Their selections include Zippity Doodah, Mickey Mouse, and It's a Small World. Inspired by their spring trip to Florida where they visited Walt Disney World. Now experience the delightfulness of the following performance.
The Warrior Band would like to recognize the following people whose donations of both time and money have made this show possible. Thank you to Sharon Mayberry and Doris Dickard for sewing all the flags that will be used in our show tonight. Jack Mayberry for building all of the large props. Dolly Baugh with Baugh Plumbing and Heating, and Ed Moore with Southern Plumbing and Heating for donating all the PVC pipe used in our show. Sherry Reed and Karen Mason, along with the Betty Smith School of Dance, for donating their time to work with our dance line, along with all of their props. Flagline alumni Michelle Amick for painting our castle, Mr. and Mrs. Edwards for painting the houses used during the drum solo, and to Debbie Haupt for all of her time working with the majorettes and flag line. In tonight's show, we will be featuring soloist Rob Crumpin, Brandon Lowther, Jenny Morris, Jason Hammond, Denny Perry, and Mike Milliman. The band is under the field direction of drum majors Anissa Tucker and Hank Carter. Drum majors, is the band ready? Gentlemen, the Peninsula District's finest, the Kecoughtan High School Marching Band presents A Touch of Disney.
you have enjoyed this week's halftime performance. Channel 5 invites you to watch each halftime during the season.